Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. And in this series, we're going to be going over Jupiter in the houses. Yes. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about the second house, okay? Jupiter in the second house, all right? And, okay, Jupiter in the second house, all right? And before we go over that, I just want to remind you guys to check out my music, okay? I've been getting some comments on my intros and outros. Some of you guys been liking my music, so definitely check it out. I have it here on YouTube and Spotify and Apple Music as well too. So yes, check that out. But yes, Jupiter in the second house, Jupiter in the second house. Now, before we get into that, let's just dissect it a bit and understand what Jupiter is and what the second house is. Jupiter is the planet in astrology of expansion, okay? It expands anything and everything, okay? It is big energy, okay? And that's why Jupiter is the biggest planet, and you see that on an astrological level. But also, with this expansion comes abundance, okay? So Jupiter represents abundance, so whatever is expanded, you have a lot of. So Jupiter represents what you have a lot of. And this is connected to like wealth, opportunities, okay? Luck, okay? Okay, that's why Jupiter represents being lucky, okay? Jupiter's also very philosophical because again, expansion is expansion. So it breaks boundaries, it breaks borders, okay? So this is like seeing the whole world, seeing the bigger picture, and that's how we have our own philosophies. This is how we have our own faith based on what we know as a whole. So Jupiter expanding this, like, it's always about learning more, learning the bigger picture, understanding the bigger picture every single time, constantly expanding your mind. So it's very philosophical and knowledgeable. And then you have the second house. The second house is the house ruled by Taurus. This is the house that deals with your finances, your security, your physical possessions, things that we own on a physical level, our physical reality, how we feel secure, our money, okay, our house, the things that we own, okay, how we feel secure here on a physical level. All right. So the first thing I can say about Jupiter in the second house is your physical possessions, your finances, your security is expanded. And the way that looks like is like you could be born with a family of wealth, okay? Because again, second house deals with your money and Jupiter here is expanding it. So you could be born into a family of lots of money because again, the second house is what you have. Jupiter here with your luck, you have a lot of money, you can come from wealth, family have lots of money, maybe your house is really big because Jupiter expands, your physical possessions, what you have. So your house, you could have gotten lots of toys, lots of gifts, lots of things because Jupiter is expanding your physical possessions. And this is not just as a child, this is throughout life. So this can manifest later. Okay, you can manifest a lot of money later because of this Jupiter energy. Okay, so Jupiter is a blessing here. All right, but I start off even with like childhood and stuff like that because again, the second house, it deals with your manifestations, what you just kind of already have. You always are supposed to build your second house because it's an earth house, but it's also what you're blessed with. So if you have Jupiter here again, you're just blessed with wealth in some type of way, okay? Maybe you're not rich, but you have lots of physical abundance, like always food, lots of toys, lots of clothes, like whatever it is, like your physical possessions, what you have is blessed because it's expanded, okay? You have a lot of it, and this does lead to wealth. So with Jupiter in second house, this is a blessing, okay? This is a very much blessing, and you're pretty much have had, your security and your finances expanded, and you're blessed with that. And security as well too, okay? Because again, money, our homes, what we own, our cars, all these things, all of these physical things that we own, these are all forms of security, okay? So again, having expanded is a blessing here. Also with Jupiter in second house, the actual things that you possess, are big, okay? So like your car, like you can have with Jupiter in the second house, you could be attracted to having like a big car, you know, or, you know, I don't know, it's just anything. Like your house is big, your furniture, you have really nice big furniture, just literally the actual physical possessions. It's not just your money is big, but also like really like the physical possessions that you have are literally big items. You can have a taste for having big items. I'm here with Jupiter expanding, okay, your physical possessions here. So that's also an interesting fact too, you know, with Jupiter in the second house. Also, with Jupiter in the second house, these people are very optimistic with money, okay? So, like I said, the second house is what you have, but not everyone with Jupiter in the second house are born with lots of money. Shoot, depending on how your chart are, you can have Jupiter in your second house and be, you know, dealt with poverty. But Jupiter here gives you optimism when it comes to money, okay? And in your finances and your physical possessions and what you can have. So it's like people with Jupiter in the second house, even with squares to it and stuff like that, that can give them poverty, make them deal with poverty or lack of stuff. Because of their optimism in this house, it leads them to money. It leads them to lots of finances. It leads them to physical possessions that are blessings for them, and a lot of it because they have such an optimistic approach to their money and their security. Okay, so again, you don't even need to be, because I know the second house is about what you have, but you can gain these things simply through your spirit, that optimism that you have, because that's Jupiter. So these people believe big. They believe that they can have wealth for themselves, okay? Even if they're not born with it. That's why even later in life, they can make lots of money because of their optimism, all right? These are people that can lose money and just be like, nope, I can make big money again. And Jupiter is like your faith. So you believe in this. You believe in your security. You believe in your finances. You believe in this. So that energy goes a long way. And it's a very good thing to talk about when you talk about Jupiter in second house. This optimism in money, okay? You being optimistic, you being courageous with money, you having this energy is why you're able to attract and have so much money and get and be rewarded so much. So don't be fooled just because you aren't, you know, born into a wealthy house with wealthy family with this position doesn't mean you won't later soon have it, okay? Because this is like your dreams in a sense, okay? Also, with Jupiter in the second house, this can also lead to being a big spender, okay? So that over optimism with money can also lead to, you know, a little neglect or a lot, okay? Just Jupiter is optimism. And even though Jupiter is so fun, sometimes Jupiter can represent where we overestimate, okay? Because we just feel like nothing, we're unstoppable. So yes, you can feel unstoppable with your money and make lots of choices that are just over optimistic and unrealistic. And being that this is the second house ruled by Taurus, it's the earth house. So you have to have responsibility. Earth energy is about discipline. So a lot of times, sometimes with Jupiter and second house people, they can be irresponsible because they're spending too much, making like unreasonable money decisions that they can't afford because of their over optimism. Also with this placement, you can make lots of money traveling. So traveling can be a form of you making money, a payment, you know, so your career, your job, if it deals with travel, you can tap into making money this way. Second house deals with your finances, your money, okay? So definitely tap into traveling or go into something different in terms of like a field that's foreign to you or a location that's different from you. Get out of your local area to find work because traveling, okay, in that long distance way or that way where you're stepping out of your boundaries and your borders, that's a way for you also to tap into money. So your work should be representing that. And traveling, having a job that deals with traveling, this would be a great way to make money with Jupiter in the second house. Also, teaching philosophy, okay? Teaching things of like faith, spirituality, because all of that deals with the bigger picture, understanding our world. So philosophy, spiritual beliefs, those type of subjects, teaching those can be a great way for you to make money too. Okay, because Jupiter again is that type of teacher. It deals with philosophy, spirituality, getting the bigger picture. This is your philosophical energy, your bigger ideas, and tapping into this energy, being a teacher, can represent how you make money. So going into those fields, all right, of teaching philosophy and spirituality in any type of way, those fields, because this is a money house, this is your work, your money. Yes, you can tap into good money that way too with Jupiter's second house, so be mindful of that. So yes, that is Jupiter in the second house. I hope you guys enjoyed that. This is a very, very blessed placement, okay? This is really expands your wealth. You have luck with money, with your finances. You can be blessed with it, or later on, because of your optimistic energy, you get to it because you believe in yourself and you're able to take risks and be courageous and believe that you can make it. And that optimism goes a far way. That's spiritual energy. So very, very great blessed placement. Okay, people here are blessed with wealth. Jupiter in the second house. I wish I had this. I got Saturn instead, which is still very good. But Jupiter in the second house, this is a very good placement, but don't be so over optimistic, okay? Because sometimes you guys can splurge and do the most, okay? But very blessed placement. I hope you guys enjoyed that. And if you guys did, book a reading with me, okay? I do natal chart readings, okay, with tarot, chart readings, okay, with tarot. All you gotta do is email me and we can go forward with that. Also check out my music, okay, on Spotify, Apple Music, and here on YouTube. All the links are in the description box below. And I'll check you guys out on the next video.
They all used to test you. Remember when it all didn't impress you? So felt lost, never left you. I'm just